Hello everyone, hope you're having a great time. It's me, and it's my birthday. I'm 16 now. If you do not know me, I'm Hasti. I'm currently learning these languages and I'm so enthusiastic to know about other cultures. And now I'm 16, I guess I told you. I had this devotion to explain and just discuss my own cultural things to other people from other countries. And then I was like, there is something that Persian people themselves sometimes do not know about and they're not that much familiar with. So I said, I'm gonna record this video in English, so everyone is going to watch it in English, but if there is any Persian here, I say hi to you as well. And if you're acquainted with my channel, welcome back. Where have you been? Did you survive? Yeah, you should. You survived the 12-day war. And let me tell you something. I have recorded so many videos in this period of 12-day war. And I'm going to share them with you as soon as possible, but maybe I'm going to share these videos sooner than the others. So let's begin. If you are acquainted with Persian culture just a little bit, you should know about Shahnameh, and you have heard of its name. So the thing is that Shahnameh is a book full of poems that they are telling you some different stories, different cultural stories about Iranian icons. And I always find it quite frenetic. I just do not understand how people cannot just love these characters. I am so in love with these characters that I'm going to discuss with you. It's not about just Iran. It's just, look at it. It's a beautiful history and stories. Because in Shahnameh we have characters that have supernatural powers. And, you know, Ferdowsi did these fantasy characters and had this actually atmosphere. Like, look at it. It's for how many? It's for this long time ago. I just do not know. I need to calculate. And before anyone like Tahir Mafi, like I don't know, the other fantasy writers could have even they were not even born. Shahnameh did. Oh, there's someone who wants to say happy birthday. I wish. So yeah, it was my grandma. Ferdowsi did something interesting. That was collecting other stories, folklore stories, or completing each other. And they're just all in poems. And somehow, because it's in old-fashioned language, it's somehow hard for us Persian speakers as well to understand. So if you're learning Persian and you do not understand what the other poems are, or you do not completely understand what that poem is saying, it's just okay. We do not know it as well. So we just read the other people who are professional and expert in this area, that they are actually discovering something new, some things new in Shahnameh each time they read it. So we read the other parts. I am to discuss a story right now, a part of Shahnameh that, like, it is so famous, but maybe you just have heard of its name, you do not know what story. And some expressions that we usually use in Persian language, and we utilize them while we are speaking, are coming from this Shahnameh. Did you hear it? Yeah. And now let's begin. The story that I want to discuss, if you are Persian or you're acquainted with this Persian culture, you can guess it now. It's about a son and a father. It's about Rostam or Sohrab. And Rostam is the father, son is Sohrab. And about Rostam, there are some facts that even Persian people do not know, rarely know about this fact. And Shahnameh somehow seems like a conundrum for them. If you just go deep inside every text and read them line by line, you would sometimes understand that there's a secret there because of the, government at that time. Ferdowsi could not explain and express everything just so clearly. So obviously, axiomatically, we need to pay more attention to what he says. Like every word means something special that you do not just know them by watching them. So the thing that I want to discuss now was about Rostam and Sohrab. And who are these two people? Rostam is an Iranian soldier, actually not just a soldier, but like a supreme commander. But by the time that he was like older, and now that I'm discussing this story is about him. And in Shahnameh you can find his whole life when he was born. Someone else to tell me happy birthday. No. Shahnameh, we see the time that Rostam was born until the day he dies. And what is frenetic here? He had so many ups and downs, but with monsters, alliance, he had done so many things. Shahnameh is full of beautiful scenes that you just read them, but everything is created and ready for you to see. And the interesting fact is that all of them are in poets, not in lines. But the thing that I wanted to discuss is about Rostam. Rostam, some people say that Rostam is not just a folklore story. He is a real person and real icon. Rostam Farrokhzad was an Iranian soldier in Sasani in that era. While he was actually leading the army of Iran, he just died and something happened. There are so many stories about him. But in Shahnameh, some things are changed here. We just made a little bit bigger and so powerful person in Shahnameh. He was powerful, but there were no monsters. And actually Ferdowsi did something clever. He just put some other enemies that he could not directly talk about in that era because of the government. He just chose to have them name them monsters. You are a monster. There were no monsters, but that person that we cannot directly talk about is the monster. So now Rostam is going to fight with them, and this is what sounds awesome. So the thing is that Rostam was living in Iran, and by the time Rostam was living in Iran, there was a country called Turan. This country is not called Turan anymore, it's just this part, geographic part. And Turan was in war was fighting with Iran. Rostam goes to Turan for being there, and Afrasiab was the king by the time. Afrasiab is the biggest enemy of Iran and everyone around them. So Afrasiab had a daughter whose name was Tahmineh. And Rostam immediately falls in love with Tahmineh. The first sight that he sees Tahmineh, he's like, oh my god, you're so beautiful. You're the most gorgeous woman I have ever seen. And while they were in love and they just marry, and a little bit after that, Iran and Turan get involved in a war, and they could not be excluded. Rostam could not be excluded because he was the leader of the army of Iran. Rostam had to get back to Iran and did not know that Tahmineh was pregnant by the time it was. Nobody knows what is happening there. So Afrasiab said, under no circumstances could you come back to Turan and see my girl. I mean, my daughter. My daughter. So yeah, then Rostam was like, okay, with a broken heart, Rostam comes back to Iran. And then they just collect the army to get back to Turan. And everything was so bad between them. It lasted for several years. And right after that, no one even allowed anyone from Iran to go to Turan, or from Turan to go to Iran. Not like this. It was not like this. So Rostam was living, and Rostam married again with another Iranian woman. And they were having not quite a good life. And they were having a good life. they were having a life. And so many things happened that Shahnameh talked about them, but now I just want to discuss Rostam and Sohrab. And Rostam did not know anything about Tahmineh and how her life is going. So they were like, Rostam was there, Rostam was in Iran, and again a war began. And there was a fire getting higher and bigger and more immense each time. So this conundrum was getting more inscrutable each time they were fighting. And Rostam needs to get back to the war. But by the time he gets back to war, their son was Sohrab. And Tahmineh loved Sohrab, and both, Tahmineh was still in love with Rostam and never married. And she was like, I am just going to grow this child and let him be like his dad, because his dad is a hero. Everyone loves him. But there are some sayings that Rostam thought not both of them, Tahmineh was dead. And Afrasiab did not let anyone know that Tahmineh's child, Tahmineh was pregnant, and they were like, Sohrab is just a random boy. We got it home. And yeah, they were living together until one day that they got into war, and by that time Sohrab was 15 or 13, 15, something like this. But I'm talking about that era. In that era, Sohrab was not a little boy. I would say that he's a teenager. No, he was like he was a powerful person. He was strong enough to go to war, and everyone was jealous of him. Everyone envied him because he was just so strong and powerful. So he said that I'm gonna get back to war with Iran, but not to just fight with Iran, to find my dad. I just want to encounter him. I want to get back to Iran any way possible. No sooner did he decide to go back to Iran than Afrasiab said, okay, just go there, I'm waiting for you. And Afrasiab somehow hated him, somehow hated Sohrab, because he was Rostam's child. And they got bad blood. And everyone knew that the only person that could possibly fight with Rostam, because Rostam is so strong, is his own child, is his own son, because Sohrab was like his dad as well. And they were like, we are in a catch-22. We should get Sohrab back to war, and he cannot say that I'm excluded from this narrative. I'm going to get back to this war. So then they got back, and in the way that actually Sohrab was going to war, he encountered a soldier. He encountered a soldier, and they were fighting. That soldier was covering, I have already talked about this, was covering her hair. I spoiled it. So they were like talking, and they were like, you are not allowed to come to my country. You cannot even think of my country, a little bit of my country. That Iranian soldier was telling Sohrab, and Sohrab was like, I'm not coming to just actually abuse you or do anything. And that soldier was like, you are lying, you are a liar, I'm sure that you are a liar. And suddenly, when they were fighting with swords, the thing that soldier was covering the hair with got somewhere else, and Sohrab suddenly understood that soldier was a girl, and Sohrab fell in love with that girl. That girl was Gorda Farid, but Gorda Farid was like, I'm not talking, I hate you, Sohrab, you are enemy. But Sohrab was just so enchanted and could not do anything, so could not move. And there were some stories between Sohrab and Gorda Farid. I'm going to discuss them sometime else, just because it's just so long. But he falls in love with Gorda Farid. Everyone was fighting, and before they fight in Iran, in old culture of Iran, people used to bully each other. Like, from this Iran group, someone comes and say, you are a weak person, you are just so weak, something like this. And the other person comes and say, no, you are I'm going to beat you, I'm going to like serve you for my lunch, and something like this. And they were like this before they start fighting one by one and then all together. So Sohrab went there, and Rostam used to not tell anyone that he is Rostam, because everyone was scared of Rostam, and if they knew who is Rostam, they would have assassinated him. So they were like assassinated him, and they were like, no, we're not going to tell anyone that it is Rostam near us. Some people knew him, some people did not know him by his face. I mean, everyone knew his name, but by the time, like, Iranian people, random people didn't know his name as well. So then sign of his father, there was like I guess something around his arm, I guess. Yeah, I should check it. I'm gonna type it right here. And he said that whenever I find my dad, I would say, like, look at it, it's yours and I have it with me. Just, he goes to war and say, I want to see Rostam, I want to fight with him. First of all, says fight with him, because Afrasiab was like, you should fight with your father, you are not here to just find him. And he was like, he was abusing Sohrab, and Sohrab said, okay, I'm gonna do it like this. And I'm saying, okay, I'm looking for Rostam. And Rostam comes to the war, comes to the actually place that they were fighting, and says, oh, you little child, do you really want to see Rostam? Okay, I do not know where he is and you are another person who can possibly fight with Rostam. You are so young, you are so actually gullible to think that you could ever actually fight with him. And Rostam was talking to his own child and saying these things to her. And he was like, and Sohrab says that, no, I am strong enough to fight with anyone. I just want to see Rostam. Not directly say that, I'm here, Rostam, look at me, I'm your son, because of Afrasiab. And Rostam said, no, you cannot see him. They start fighting. And some people say that, first of all, they fought and nothing happened. I guess one of them got injured. But the day after that, they were again fighting. And Sohrab goes to actually the place that they were fighting and says, I want to see Rostam. Why don't you understand? I just want to see Rostam and fight with him. And Rostam himself was like, you are gullible, go away. Like, what do you think about yourself? And these poems that I'm talking about, that I'm sharing a summary of them, they are just so powerful and full of meanings. I'm just giving you a summary of it. I'm sorry that if it is so rapidly going, but this is something more than this. I'm gonna share the whole actually poem with you. If you are acquainted with Persian language, you're gonna understand some things. They start fighting, they were like actually struggling. Rostam says that, oh child, I understood that I underestimated you. You are powerful, you're more powerful than I thought. And this part is quite frenetic. I always find myself in a really endless devotion to see this part, or maybe make a video, make a film of this story. This is just awesome. I do not know how people ignore it and neglected it. This story, that this is awesome. How don't you see it? Who are you? Just tell me. And they were struggling, and Sohrab was like, okay, you got me angry, and I'm just going to I'm full of hatred now. I want to kill you, then find my dad Rostam. And it was Rostam. He didn't say my dad. He was like, do not talk to me, I'm just going to kill you. And Rostam got his sword, and actually Sohrab was injured so badly. And then so Rostam understood that Sohrab is dying. Now that I just heard him, he is going to die. Axiomatically, he's going to die. And now this part says that, okay, son, who are you? And now tell me, now that you're dying, tell me, who are you to be this much powerful? I have never seen a boy, I have never seen a person, a man in your age with this power. And Sohrab later on said, my dad is Rostam and I was here to find him. If you know him, tell him that I love him so much. And said that I was quarreling with my own son. Was I really? And this is so painful, really painful, that Rostam murdered his own son in cold blood. And Sohrab said, and Rostam said, no, you're lying, really? So Rostam is your dad? And said, yes, look at this part. And just showed him something that was under his clothes and said, look at it, it's just for Rostam. And my mother gave me this. And Rostam was like, I did not know anyone like you existed. I am your dad. And this part is so beautiful. That Rostam murders his own son, not knowing he was his own son. And then he was like, I was underestimating your power because I knew the only person who could possibly quarrel with me was a person like me. It was you, Sohrab. And said that I am your dad. And Sohrab said, how beautiful that I'm murdered by my dad, the dad that I loved so much. And I have been thinking about you all my life. I was envisaging how your face is, how everything about you is going to seem. And I am so sorry that we have to quarrel and you have to kill me. So this was beautiful. This was quite beautiful and lovely and adorable. Rostam could not stop weeping, actually. And got the other people who said, like, come on, get something, I want to cure him. And when they got, it's just, we have something, nushdaru. Nushdaru is like a medicine. Cure Sohrab is already dead. And there's a quote, actually there's an expression. In Persian we say, nushdaru بعد مرگ فایده نداره. Nushdaru, that is like medicine. Because Rostam was trying to cure him after he was dead. And he could not stop doing it because he was full of hatred of Afrasiab. That you knew he was my son. Why did you let him fight with me? Why did you bring him to this endless quarreling? And I did not want it, this ending. This closure is so painful. I did not want it. He was like trying to cure him after he was dead. And because of that, we say nushdaru. Medicine does not work after death. So when some people we use it like this. When someone broke your heart or actually betrayed you, did something really bad to you, and then they come and say, we are so sorry, they apologized, you would be like, nushdaru بعد مرگ فایده نداره. The feeling that is dead is not going to be cured anymore. It's not going to work. So work on this. nushdaru بعد مرگ فایده نداره. nushdaru, repeat it. nushdaru بعد مرگ فایده نداره. There's no benefit in medicine after death. This closure was moving and inspiring so much. So yeah, this was the story that I wanted to tell you. Now that you see the beauty of Shahnameh, you're going to read more beautiful stories as well. There are so many stories and I'm just so in love with Shahnameh. If you want me to continue recording these videos about Shahnameh, just tell me again. Love you so much, guys. God protect you. Love you so much.